Alright. Yep, still works. Okay, how's it going, everyone? Let me make sure that I can see everything. Click here. I can actually get rid of all of this. Let me look to see, because I often miss people speaking to me on YouTube. Okay, so I can see that. Oh, don't they also allow you to like pop it off of this window? I thought you could. I think there was some type of way to do that. But anyway, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the stream. It's been a little bit. I'm gonna be working on some comic work today on the Divinity. So yeah, that's mainly what's gonna be going on. Don't really have any music to play, so you guys can play your own. But yeah, let's get to it. I've been checking out some of these older pages, looking at some things that I need to kind of update. Kind of looking at them, going like, what more do they need to be considered complete, other than of course dialogue, right? I know that I haven't added those, so I'm looking at like the imagery itself. So I like the way the art for the background and stuff look here. Has an organic feel to it, which is what I'm kind of going for more these days. Kind of less not robotic, but more like I forget the word for it, but you know, when you rely too heavily on like digital tools as far as like the ruler systems and the guides and stuff that they're provided for you, you kind of end up with something that looks a little bit kind of it's like flat a bit. I'm trying to go for something that looks a little bit more natural. Whereas though if I were to draw this on paper or on the computer, it would still have like a made by hand feel to it. So I'm gonna be adding like some tone to this panel here, and then erasing out of it for lighting and other things as well. So that's what I'm gonna be doing right now. Oh boy, wait, I'm on the same layer that the other one is. If everyone is doing well, works better. I can kind of erase out. I was thinking of also putting some sort of detail in the curtains and whatnot, but I don't know if I should, though it is relatively up to me to do that. So alright. It's like, why is that like that? It's supposed to actually stop here. I think I need too much. Okay. I'm gonna be erasing out for the light. Yeah, how's it going, Crocodile? See here. I think I just want to make it a simple erasing technique. I don't think I want it to be too crazy. But then again, kind of do like the idea of probably doing like a circle here and then going over it a little bit. I mean, in fact, I could actually, let me see. If I were to go to a new layer, keep it normal, and go to white, be able to oh wait, I need to go down a little bit. About like 80%. You're off and drawing for fun? Nice. Just do some quiet time. Understandable. So I could do something like that. And then I could also go to, I think this brush is pretty. Nope, it's not this brush. Let me see. There was this one brush I used to use that had some extra effect to it. Used to like. Yeah, it was probably something like that. I don't think it was that exact brush. Okay, well, we can try that. And then I'll just I think I should just be able to erase out for something also a little simple. I keep saying simple, but I keep adding layers to the amount that I'm doing here. Guess to me it's all in like the shape that you kind of use. If the shape for the shadow is like a very basic shape, or like it doesn't have too many like mini shapes in it, I guess that makes it simple. It's very understandable chunky shape to kind of understand what's going on as far as the lighting goes. That works. Wanted to also do something as far as lighting goes inside the apartment building here. Well, it's not even an apartment, but yeah, not an apartment building, but it's like an inn, but I didn't quite get the lighting the way I wanted it to, so I kind of left it alone. I think I also might still leave it alone. My idea for like how I'm working at this point in time is kind of like getting things just good enough to kind of move away from it, so I can come back and just edit them quickly for them to actually be done. Because sometimes when you can't like quickly figure out what it takes to finish a picture, I feel like it might be better to kind of move away from it and then come back to it. But I'm also trying to not overdo using like shadows as well. Though I think they're great. I'm also, because I'm on a computer, I don't have to go by tone and sit here with an X-Acto knife and cut it out and apply it. I can just put anything down that I want. But it kind of slows you down too. The more details you put on the image, you're essentially telling the person looking at it to slow down and take in all these details. And there are certain parts where, yeah, I do want you to slow down, but there's other parts where I want you to be a little faster. So I have to kind of take into consideration those types of things as well. See, I also forgot to tone the arm, or the hand and the skin and everything. think I might want to do something with the floor, like add some sort of texture and whatnot to it. I think that could be cool. Maybe it could be like some type of wood grain on the floor that's noticeable. But I won't do too much because it wouldn't work out well. So let's see. Nah, that doesn't really serve it. I think I'll put it near the crevices. That way you kind of see it away from the light a little bit. But then when you get like further away from the crevices, you get to see less and less of it. So it has like some form of, well, form. It's like just some extra amount of details. Okay. I think I'm fine with that for now. I'll have to come back to that later. Still feel like I'm not, I guess, hitting the mark that I want to hit with it. It's this balancing act of like detailing and not over detailing. Oh, I see. Definitely missing. Let me think here. That door, does that go inward or? Yeah, I think it does. So if I wanted to open the door, essentially, I could. Do that. Actually, it looks a little bit like the frame. The door is kind of broken here a little bit. That looks that makes that looks a little bit more interesting, honestly. So I'll keep that there for now and come back to that, but that looks a lot more interesting. I think I gotta find the previous page that I worked on, that when they went to this inn, and how this and everything looked, but I know I'm changing some things subtly, probably because I don't really like all the work that I'd done to it previously, but yeah, I think it's necessary. But I'm not trying to go too crazy again on the shapes and stuff like that in this room. But I do think it's important to make it feel kind of three-dimensional. I've also kind of been moving away from using like tone anyway, because it just doesn't. I haven't been able to get it to work with printers, I guess. Like when I try to print with certain printers, I mean, it's mainly, I would say even just one printer, but so far, no. When I print out of my own printer and I print my stuff small or whatever, it looks fine. But when I've gone to use the printer that I use now to kind of like try printing my book, the tone kind of comes out a bit crunchy. It looks like you definitely don't like. I definitely didn't enjoy what it looked like. So, I heard that it's just something you deal with, and I was just like, oh man, like I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that. I kind of would rather have something that I'd enjoy, I guess. It's like a part of me is like, I've worked really hard on this thing, and I kind of wanted it to be, what I see it on my screen type thing. And it's not even color work that we're talking about here. This is literally black and white, because tone isn't gray. It looks like it's gray from afar, but it's just black. So you'd think it'll be closer to what you're seeing when you're working on it, but in actuality, sometimes the printer can get the file, print it out, and it'll look wrong, right? The shapes that come out from the tone become these weird patterns, and it doesn't look nice. It doesn't feel good on the eyes. And I was just like, it's kind of taken away from the storytelling, because I want you to pay attention to the story that I'm telling, not this weird pattern that's on, the characters and whatnot, or the backgrounds. So it kind of takes away from that. I don't like that. So I've been kind of moving away from the idea of like using tone in general. Um, that doesn't mean I'm not opposed to using actual textures either, though. I'm definitely interested in like giving things like a textured feel here and there, though my comic is not like about that, if you will. I'm okay with the smoothness of just values here and there, but I am thinking of finding some sort of paper texture to kind of add to my comic to give it a more naturalistic feel, because I kind of like that myself. Okay. Okay, I like the way this is looking. It's looking okay. See here, can I get this soft eraser to do something with this? Well, yeah, Halo definitely wouldn't have the coin to easily do it, but no, Halo's not completely broke. Nakeem would definitely be able to afford it, so you know. Hmm. Okay, and now I'm gonna try and get the underside of this sheet a little bit. I think I might be doing just a little bit too much, or maybe things aren't like what are they called? They're not working the way I want them to visually. I'm trying to make like a light source be essentially over here, but it's not doing what I want it to do. Also, no, I don't want to run into the first panel here. I want there to be some sort of like difference. So maybe what I'll do, maybe what I'll do is I will keep that there, but then I'll add another layer and drop another value on top of it. See how that looks. And it's darker, so that's what I'll do. See how that looks. Maybe a little too dark, honestly. Then I'll go to this value here. Maybe that'll work. Oh. might be doing a little too much right there. Okay. For the most part, I think that's fine. Anything else I can add? I mean, I think maybe I'll... Wait a minute. Didn't she have a pillowcase right there? Where did I draw that? That's weird. Is it on... No, it's not on a different layer. Feels like it's on a different layer. Like it could possibly be. Okay then. Well, I guess I'll have to redraw it. That was a part of the story, essentially. Sometimes there are some last minute changes that happen when you're not paying attention. You end up getting rid of something you weren't supposed to. Trying not to make a tangent here. Okay, now I can erase out some of these other lines, and that should be easy. Where exactly is all of this? What? Alright, now I'm getting more confused. Wait. Okay, so where did I put... Okay. Okay. And now I can also go to this layer, kind of erase out what I don't want here any longer, kind of change some things. Okay. Alright, so now that's done, I'm gonna hop back over here. I think I'm gonna make the pillowcases like a darker, like value. I think that'll work well. Not too dark though. So just like that. I think it helps a little bit. Actually, we might go a little darker than that. Kind of gives it some feeling of variety there. So I kind of felt like it was a little boring having a, you know, I mean, you can imagine it like a very pastel or white pillowcase on like a white sheet. I mean, it's fine, but in a comic that's basically black and white, where I'm kind of getting you to imagine what these colors could be, it's kind of boring. Hey, look, a tangent. Awesome. Gotta get rid of that. No, that's a bit better. I think it'd be even better if I got rid of that shadow there. Okay. And for the most part, no one's probably going to be zooming all the way in. How's it going, Tavon? If anyone is watching on Twitch, feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section. I can see you. Not I can see you, that's creepy. Not I can see you, but you know, I'll be able to see what you write. That's what I mean. I can see you, that's weird. Thinking since this key is metal, I'll also help it out, give it a little bit before I completely run away from this page. That is not the value I needed. And then we'll just erase out with this. Sure. From a distance, it kind of looks like it has some shine to it. So, that's good. Alright. Now I keep saying I'm running, and then I keep remembering things about, like, art. Kind of just trying to sell the illusion, you know? It's like, what can I do to help sell the illusion of what I'm giving you guys for a story? I think when I get a lot better, these things will be almost automatic. Like I won't even have to think so much about it. Right now, the thing that I think about the most is clarity. It's the most important thing. If you can't figure out what's going on, then I kind of failed. So I try my best to concern myself with clarity the most. Once I get that clarity down, I kind of add back the natural feel to everything a little bit. Kind of start working backwards a little bit. But yeah, I'm just happy it's all still fun. But I do see the job that I want to do, and that is make sure everyone's not confused about what's going on. So I'm always trying to make things that are pretty clear to understand, so I can kind of then go backwards again and go, okay, I'll push that thing backwards in space. I'll push that backwards because it already works at a certain level. But yeah, it is important. Nowhere as good as I want to be. Probably kind of never will. I think I'm amazing to the younger me, right? Younger me would look at the stuff I'm doing now and be like, whoa, like, you can actually do a bit of character designing, and you can actually come up with all these cool fight sequences and all these other things now. Like, that's amazing. But as far as I want to be right now, there's still so much I want to get better at. So it looks a little bit better. Still has kind of like a certain type of feel to it, but over time it's gonna disappear. So I'm gonna fix that. I still feel like I'm not figuring out exactly which brush would give me the look I'm looking for. Is it this one? Because I know I have a lot of my brushes turned all the way down. Oh, great. Yep. Alright, that is good enough. Because from a distance, it already works. It's always important for me to kind of look at my work from a distance. Alright, let's see. Halo has on white shirt, mostly dark pants. I'm gonna give him a dark shirt. Here. That's fine. Maybe not too dark, but then it'll converge with the hair, so yeah, should be that. And then that'll be that. Kind of makes me also want to change this pillowcase to a different color. Should I go darker? Why not? Alright, there's definitely more visual variety there. That's good. Okay. Did I ever finish the previous page? Page 4. Yep, for the most part. For the most part, finish page 4. Page 5. 6. Right. So I added a bunch of notes on this one. Wait a minute. 4, 5, 6. What? Oh yeah, this is 4 and 5. Okay, it's 6 and 7. Have a bunch of notes on here that I kind of remember. So it's daytime. I think probably gonna have a window on. Well, obviously I can kind of tell already, but the window will probably be to the right. So there'll be some light coming through here. I need to add some other details here and there. But since it's essentially behind him, his shadow is going to kind of be in front of him. And since there'll be enough light in the room, though there'll be dark on this side since he's facing away from the darkness, there'll still be enough, light in the room to kind of bounce up. And then it'll kind of be like, it'll even out. So I won't need to go into a lot of darker values. So I'm going to put a light shadow in front of him. Gonna add another whatchamacallit here. I'm gonna try and make it as simple as possible because it's not that important. That's a little too big. Actually had like a little sketch somewhere on this. Kind of think about those little ovals in like Marvel versus, not even Marvel versus, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Though the sprites were really detailed, I think the shadows were just like ovals all the time. I think that was always fun. I think maybe this is a little too big here and there. That seems to be a lot better. Kind of erase out the socks. It works just fine. And now I can use the same type of shadow on the bed area. Kind of seems a little bit too dark. So usually I only use about what is this, 3 to 4 values, but sometimes when I want to really play with lighting, I will adjust it a little bit. So like I'm gonna grab this value and I'm going to lighten it up a bit to kind of get the best of kind of like what I'm trying to go for here. So I'll go ahead and move that to a different layer and kind of move this here. Gets me something lighter than my lightest value, and that works pretty well. So I'll go up to 60, and that works for me. Pillowcase was this. Actually, I can. It's about to put a little bit too much effort into that. Which direction did the pillowcase come out of the pillow? Wait, which direction did the pillow come out of the pillowcase? Let me see here. Yep, okay, so I had it right. So it's gonna be a white area in the front with a darker area on the actual pillowcase. Sometimes when I do streams, I kind of don't go into it with like an idea of exactly what to talk about, because I guess I'm just working. So I hope you guys are cool with that. I mean, I could easily just, well, not even easily, I could just sit down and maybe come up with ideas of what to talk about, but for the most part, I kind of just talk about what I'm working on. That's kind of like what's on my mind. It's like I don't watch a lot of. I've been watching a little bit of shows here and there, but for the most part, um, I don't know. That's not my life, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I'm definitely missing a bit of shirt here. Like maybe I could extend that down, kind of get away with an indication of there being a shirt there. So maybe that works like that visually. Also, the Divinity is up to, I believe it is chapter 5, going through um, going through adding more pages into chapter 5 on all the free sites. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, be sure to go to any of the links in the description. Whereas though it's webtoon and tapis for the most part right now that I'm posting to. It's an action adventure comic that I'm working on. That is definitely a manga inspired shonen type of story. So if you're interested in checking that out, definitely check that out. I think there is over 150 pages now available for everyone to check out for free. And if you guys would like to see a lot further ahead of the free release, be sure to check out my tier list on Patreon. Smallest tier for support is just $1. What you hoping to see with the next set of Arcane episodes? Well, from what you told me a little bit about, I think the Rift, since I don't know much about it, I guess I want to see how that goes. I want to see how they incorporate all that into it, and also wonder, are they ever going to do any more seasons? Because I hear kind of like League of Legends is kind of like this. It's this champion battle series, I guess. So I'm wondering, is there even a story as good as something like an Arcane, which has some sort of nuances there? Like, are they going to be able to do something like that with it? Or is that why Arcane is stopping? Like, is Arcane stopping because there is nothing more to do as far as like giving this universe nuance, because it's basically just chaos now? Like, is it going into chaos, or is it that like there'd just be too much work to do? I mean, third option is, are they just going to call it League of Legends because it's finally going to open up the Rift? So I have no idea, but I'm very interested in seeing, I guess, how these last 3 episodes go into the end, I guess. I know that Jinx probably is about to actually lose her mind. I know that just the whole, everything that was kind of tying together this story of these 2 girls, we kind of know a lot more now. We know a lot more about Silco, Vander, their relationship, the mom of both Jinx and Vi. We have all these details now, but the only thing we don't have is like a consistent thing to tie them together, to like keep them together. You know, unfortunately, it couldn't be the little girl that seems to be being helped by Jinx, and it doesn't seem to be able to be Vander because Vander's not even supposed to be here. So without those two things, what is there? If Echo don't come back on 100% Future Trunks timing, I'm clocking out. I mean, yeah, dude's been missing for like 6 episodes now. Strange. Of all the people to kind of leave out, Echo is kind of like a weird choice because like I definitely like him more than Jace, and Jace definitely has more screen time, it feels like, than Echo. But maybe somebody likes Jace out there. I don't know. I'm not a person who likes and enjoys Jace on screen. Feels very much like a person who doesn't really know, like, he doesn't really command his story well, I'd say. Kind of talks to people, he lets other people kind of not control him, but easily manipulate him. It's weird. If they set that rift free, it'll be the end of us all. Was that said in the episode? I don't even remember it. I don't even remember if that was some real dialogue. Oh my god. What? When they tried to open up the Android 16 chamber, oh my god. Okay. Um, Look, I'm actually very happy for the Dragon Ball fan base as far as like the amount of stuff you guys keep getting. You got Daima to watch. You got I just saw that Xenoverse has like an update or something. Xenoverse 2 has like a new update. Didn't know that. Was still like getting attention. I think maybe Dokkan Battle might still be going on. I think what is it? Oh, Sparking Zero, right? Sparking Zero is still happening. And I guess that also means, Dragon Ball Fighters is not coming back right now. It's not something being prioritized. So people are all, not all the people, but a lot of people are moving over to Sparking Zero because Tenkaichi and obviously nostalgia and whatnot. So there's that. But it's nice to see that all the games that are coming out seem to be decent. You know what? I was gonna add like a lighting thing to this, but I'm thinking maybe I don't. Actually, maybe. No, during certain moments I will. When he's just walking, nothing. When he's looking at it, that's when I'll do it. Like when he's about to use it or something. Diamond is ongoing. Sparking Zero. Dragon Ball The Breakers. Ah, that's another one. Yeah. Received a Gamma and a half DLC. Okay. Dragon Ball Super is ongoing to the final arc in the manga. Okay. And it's all pretty good stuff. Okay, nice. That's just really cool. We all know, in my opinion, we all know that it's gonna run out, unfortunately, right? But right now, they're riding a really high wave and they're doing a good job. Like they're keeping the fan base happy. That's what I'm saying. Um, and that's just what else could you ask for? Your internet is better. Nice. Okay, now I can kind of again play with the lights first. Still trying my best to maintain simplicity. I'll put it that way. Sorry about that. Let's see here. There we go. Hmm. Okay. Probably should have did that on a different layer actually. Let me see. Actually, I probably don't need to do it so much. That's fine. That is fine. And I can do that here. You like Halo's his gear? Nice. It's really dope that someone appreciates it. I definitely feel like I've been taking the slow way through working on my series. I've definitely been like just building things up in like a really slow manner, I guess. And it kind of stayed true to kind of like what my story was supposed to be, along with doing like research and whatnot. It's a lot more designs that I want to show, but I gotta get to them first. You know, I gotta actually work my way to them. And no matter how creative I am, it still has to make sense like how we got where we got to. So I hope to give you some more um, Halo designs and whatnot that he'll eventually get to. And all these other characters that I've created. I think the also interesting thing is I may have actually skipped my like 10th anniversary at this point when it comes to working on the series. Um, just wasn't thinking about it. So I should probably do something. I think I'll do something next year. Um, but I think it's like in 2014 I was working on chapter 1, and at some point I jumped on to chapter 2, but I'm not sure if I completely finished chapter 1 at that point and also published it anywhere, right? So I'm like, okay, like I got to figure out when that day is. But when I figure that out, I'll have the official. But I still think I'm going to celebrate it in 2025 just because I did not, plan on doing anything this year other than just doing as many pages as possible. Because I want to get further on just getting the story more done. So right now I'm working on things from volume 2. Trying to get enough people to check out the comic in general so that I can eventually try and sell volume 1. I've done like some test prints of my work so that I can see what everything looks like. Still not completely happy with my volume 1 as far as like how the tone had come out and things of that nature. I figured out the exact type of file type that I need to be able to send to the printer so that they can make the best print version possible recently. So, and then I had computer troubles. And my computer basically went down. I didn't know why. Had to do research. And found out my power supply had went out and it took out one of my drives. So I was like, oh crap, like, I wonder if everything's okay, if all my files are safe. So that took a whole thing to kind of figure out. But as soon as I found out that the drive that kind of died was my C drive, which is an important drive for most people, but I didn't have much space on my C drive, so I hardly put anything on it. So once I figured that out, got back on my computer, first thing I did before I even got the hard drive, before I got the power supply fixed, was download and save all of my documents so that I wouldn't, so that things wouldn't get bad. But now that all that is safe, I'm back to working on my comic and everything, but it was a scary time. Kind of seeing, essentially not even realizing it, but like 10 years of work kind of feel like all of it disappeared. It's not a fun time. You want hardcovers? That'd be awesome. I've been recently checking out book spine designs and stuff like that. And, unfortunately I don't have the money to like hire people right now. Would love to one day to like hire people to do that type of work for me. But right now I can only do those things for myself. So I'm looking into, cause I love books, honestly. Like, really love me some books. But I'm looking at like comic book spines, so like American comics, Japanese comics, whatever, and just looking at them being like, which designs do I really like here and why do I like them? And which ones do I think are really good? And I guess I'm looking at it from a place of being like, here's the type of story that I make, and or ones that I would like enjoy, I guess. Like as far as like what I would write, and here's how I would set up the cover. And there's been multiple iterations of that where I'm looking at the spine and I'm like, okay, you definitely need the title. You definitely need if you have a company, you put the company name, you put the title of the book, and if you can fit it while also having a picture of a character or a scene or something on the spine, you put your name. But for the most part, I feel like you can kind of drop your name off the book to get more space for a character that's going to be on the book. Depends on if your series is like for kids or teenagers, in my opinion. Because oftentimes, when I've gone to the comic book shop looking for a book to get into, I look at like a Marvel, a DC, seeing them all next to each other, and it kind of becomes like a blur of just words. And I don't like that. And it's not, I've realized what it really is like Marvel and DC will print small books. And if you print a small book, you don't have the real estate to make a really dope spine, right? If you print like a 70 page to like a 100 and even like 20 page book, you don't have much real estate to make a cool spine. But when you start looking at Marvel and DC's omnibus collections, where they're talking 500, 600 pages, even got compendium collections, which are like 1,000 pages. They have all the real estate in the world to make really dope covers at that point, or spines. So they'll actually put illustrations of the characters on there and everything like that. I like how the Invincible hardcovers look. I think they look fantastic. It's just got the Invincible logo, and it's got like a scene of the comic or whatever on like it's like a little picture frame there with like a image. It looks good. I think it looks great. My whole thing is I want my stuff to be able to compete when it's on a shelf. If it's on a shelf and you can't really notice it, I feel like you're not going to be able to check out the book to know if you like it or not. It's all just good design or not, Yeah, it's just good design or not. It's either it works or it doesn't. Of course, you have some books where there's no necessary need for like a picture on the cover because maybe the book is a bit like a mystery or a thriller or even like it's just a darker story in general. So of course, you can just have a cover or a spine, I keep saying cover, that just says Death Note on it. Maybe you also put the people who wrote the book and drew the book, but you can just have a black spine that just has in white Death Note. And that works because I don't need to see characters there. Depends on like what you're going for in the story. It kind of like the spine kind of becomes like a I guess a vibe check. Like it's like a vibe check, if you will, for like what type of story this is. If you have colors, like a colorful cover that has like a nice character on the front or whatever, depends. Like, are your colors vibrant? Okay, this could be for kids. Does the character look like it has like round shapes and things of that nature? Okay, it could be like a Pokemon. It could be like, all those types of things, right? I think Chi Sweet Home. It's a comic about a cat. The cat, I believe, is a part of the spine. Same thing with like the Donald Duck collections and all that type of stuff. They have a little snippet from that character on the spine. Looking at my shelf now. You used to have stuff like the usual stuff from Shonen Jump has, company name. Has, of course, the title. You have, of course, the volume number, which I didn't remember to put on the dang on list. And also, of course, who made it, and a little picture of the character that's inside of the book. Maybe the main character. Naruto's thing is Naruto, and for the most part, even though he has other characters that are featured on the spine, he takes over most of that spine. So it kind of is a bit redundant there. But obviously, since he's the main character, I guess it's fine. On all the One Piece books, you have, not only do you have the title, but you also have, it'll say like One Piece, and it'll say what arc it's in. And that's really cool, because those indicate which part of the story you're in, outside of just the number of the order you're supposed to read in. So if you're looking through Thriller Bark, and you're looking for a certain part, you just click, you grab the Thriller Bark books off the shelf. And also, since he puts different characters on each spine, you're not just looking at a Luffy picture. You're looking probably at a moment that's inside that book. Um, so if you're looking for someone's backstory and they have like a child version of one of the characters, you're like, oh, this is when I get to know more about this character's backstory. So this is the one I'm gonna take off the shelf and start reading. It just makes sense. It works pretty well, and obviously you got different colors and whatnot. But yeah, I've been looking into that, trying to design my own book covers and my own uh, spines and whatnot, like for my book. Trying to make a lot of these things appealing. It's just gonna take some time to get done. All right, so what am I doing here? I think I wanted the middle panel on the left to stand out, but I'm not sure if I should do what I'm thinking. So this is in white, this is in white. Obviously, when you pluck the card, that's when all the shuffling is over. So I want to indicate some type of change. So what I'll do is I'll drop that into a form of darkness. See how that looks first. Okay, might work. I think I was thinking of also placing more fingers here. Probably go here. Okay, I think that, yeah, that makes sense. Looks a little off, but I'll have to fix it later or be okay with it, honestly. I'm also trying to think of different ways to advertise the comic. It's definitely the number one thing that I haven't done. I've consistently drawn it. I've consistently worked on it. I've written it. Um, I've got a test print of it. Technically multiple because I wasn't happy. But I think the thing that I suffer from is like actually wait a minute. What's wrong with this stream? Okay, no. That's the previous. Okay, I've seen something in the past. Let me see. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. it's the fact that I haven't been really trying to go out my way to advertise for it. I guess I was trying to see if I wouldn't have to, if like it picked up on its own. But of course, with a sea of people doing, amazing work on everything else that they're working on, they're also fighting for their work to be seen. I was being a little naive in that. So I definitely have to put more effort into getting more people to see my work since I've been working on it so much. So I've been learning more about that. It has not been fun, I guess. Like it's not as simple as it seems, and then some things are. But it's worth it because, for the most part, you can't kind of keep doing this type of work without, over time, getting someone to check out your stuff and read it and even buy it if you're selling it. So it's important to start going down that route. Also just realized something that I need to probably fix. Good thing is there's no tone on this character, so I'll just move them down a little bit. That should be fine. Okay, last but not least. Actually, I know that I think I wanted to use black, or I wanted to erase out and use focus lines on this top part. I've seen people use some sort of shortcut when it comes to that as well. Might have to try that myself. Don't mind. Instead of using a darker value, just go ahead and use completely black here. Puts emphasis on the card. And I'm gonna edit this later and just have literally text on the card so you can just read the card yourself. And that'll just work. Alright. Okay, I see why that's a bad idea. So if that's the case, he turns towards the light, which is on. That's funny. So I have to kind of switch the lighting on his nose here. But the light is over here and it's to the right hand side. So if he spins, obviously it'll be on his left, which means I should change that. Drawing all these darn comic book pages. I've been getting better with spinning characters in my head a little bit. Because there's always something to do. There's always something to do with that. Sure. Aha, finally. Found one of the brushes that I like. So, since the light source is coming from here, I would say, it's kind of in front of him here. I can just kind of indicate things a little bit. I need to use the soft eraser. So this is like one of those textured, like, whatchamacallits I was thinking about, where it's not, what am I trying to say? It's not tone, I guess, but it definitely has a certain, like, textured feel to it, which I think is just fine. Yeah, looks pretty cool. I'll even go up a little bit and add a little bit underneath to kind of, again, just give it just a little bit of depth, because I can easily just undo it by just erasing it out here and there. if I don't want it. That way things don't get kind of lost in all these details and whatnot. Things still become readable. I think I want to redo Samara's face here. Alright, that looks a lot better. Everything else for the most part is like adding in text details, sound effects. I know I want to add some detail into the back of this card as far as like, well, the first card that I did kind of over here, I made sure to write it. It says challenge card. That's what they are. They're challenge cards. The challenges for Halo to usually limit himself, and yeah, I think it's one of my favorite things about the character. That way they're not too boring, they're kind of interesting, and they also develop from their training method kind of in front of your eyes, so it's a lot of cool stuff with that. I'm not going to give away too much, but it's fun for me to write. It should be fun for you guys to read through, and it's not just about fighting, so that's why I think it's good. But through these challenges or whatever, he's going to have to figure out different ways to get through things, without being able to use all of his abilities all the time. So it just makes it fun consistently to read and write. Oh, I guess I'm also missing like focus lines and things of that nature. There's no speed lines necessary here, but definitely some focus lines here and there. Also, as you probably can notice, the line work on the right hand side is a lot more clear than the line work on the left hand side, but all I have to do is kind of duplicate the layer and we'll have exactly what we need. Let me just leave that. I don't think anyone's gonna care. Let's go ahead to this page here, go over to all our line work, which is this one. Gonna duplicate it. Now everything's a bit darker. I had to fix one of the thumbs. They weren't drawn as well as they could be, so I had to erase the previous work and kind of come back to it. But yeah, I like the way this looks. It's looking a lot better. It's not too much I would change here. Maybe his eye is a little bit low, but I could also see he's turning his head a little bit. Hand at the bottom kind of bothers me with this one, but I can come back to it and fix it as well. Hope everyone's doing well today. I forgot to do the what are those called? I want to say they're like belt loops. The pants. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all see it. I forget the name of them right now. So I'm gonna we're just gonna do it on this layer. Okay. I think the other work that I'm probably going to end up doing is probably adding to the background as far as like placing like shoes and where they have like their jackets that they usually wear for this part in the story. Gonna definitely probably add that in there so that it just adds to the overall depth of the area. And grab something to drink real quick. Everybody make sure they stay hydrated. Got about 20 more minutes left in stream. I'm gonna try and get as much work as I can get done before going to go cook some food. Alright, let's get back to it. Let's see. Is my stream lagging or anything? I'm trying to see if everything's working well on my end. Looks like everything's fine. It's not telling me that I'm dropping frames or anything. So good. Alright. Back to it. I think I did well with stream today as far as like making sure I was paying attention to both chats properly. Because the other time I often miss like a person who was speaking in the chat. And now I can kind of see everybody. Though I still haven't figured out what the heck is wrong with the docking system on OBS. As far as like why YouTube's chat box won't show up for me there. I have to do that outside of stream, but right now I just got 2 windows up. It just works. For the most part, I think I'm kind of sort of... Oh, right. I wanted to kind of figure out focus lines for this. And I know they had some sort of like pre-made focus lines. Usually I like to just do everything by hand, but you know, for some things I'm like okay with trying out some pre-made things. Kind of throw down. Kind of makes the process a little faster. But I do admit, kind of lose some bit of... I guess you gain efficiency for a bit of like unauthenticity. I said that word probably incorrectly, but you don't need to make everything yourself. I make the word bubbles by hand. I mean, I technically draw the frames in. Like, all this stuff has like my hand all over it, if you will. Which I guess helps it. I mean, I do have like a problem with some of my stuff not looking as organic as I like it to. But it doesn't look as stiff as it could look, right? So, let me see here. Yeah. Wanted to add some focus lines here, so I think I'll look for that. Actually, let me look it up real quick. 1 second, people. Need to look this up. Right, it's the oh, it's the subtool. It's the speed lines and focus lines. I mean, that looks cool, but that's not exactly what I'm looking for there. Okay, I think I know what I'll do. So I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to pick white here. I think I have a tool, burst. Burst only does, well, something like that. Let's see what happens if I get this ruler, joint radial. I'm gonna put the radial joint here. Think about there. Now let's see. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. That's another thing I want to fix. I feel like I fixed it on a previous version of Clip Studio that I had, but not this one. So let's see. Burst. Yeah, it kind of works that way. Wish I could fix the thickness of things, but oh, it's locked, so I can experiment. Alright, nice. Okay, it might be a little too big. Okay. Let me experiment a little bit longer. Try to get this. trying to figure out. Am I supposed to be making the card shine, or am I supposed to make you look at the card? It's one of those. I think I'm kind of getting the effect that I want here. Okay. Alright, nice. I like that. I think I'm gonna erase away some more, but yeah, I like the way it's looking. Let's see, which one will be better, to keep the lines going over top of the fingers, or to erase them completely? So I'm thinking if I erase them, they'll still work fine. Yeah, I think that still works. Nice. Okay, so we have our point of where to look here. Looks fine. It's not perfect, but definitely looks fine. Wondering if I should make it like, let me bring that back and see what happens. I see it? Yes. Okay. Whoa, hold up. Where is this thing? There it is. That's not what I meant to do. Still in the layer we need to be on. See if I can erase any of these. It's not giving me anything. Oh. Well, why wouldn't it? Yeah, still doing that, so. Yeah, so I'm trying to make the shape a bit more interesting. That's fine. Doesn't need to be too crazy. Alright. I know exactly what I would love to add to this now. I don't have thought about it. Let me open this up and put this in here. But it's gotta have an extra layer of tone here for just the purposes of value. Alright, I did it. Really like the way that looks. Nice. Maybe I'll add something to this background, I'm not sure. To add more here and there, but it's gotta be just a bit darker than certain other things. Oh wow, I guess I didn't catch those there. Okay. I guess that's on a different layer that I'm not sure of. But nice. Alright. Finish this up. Okay, and then I have to track down exactly where these other layers are that kind of stopping me from changing the value. Well, that makes exact sense, actually. I really like that. Yeah, I really like that. I don't think I've saved much at all today. But yeah. Wow. Alright, let's check. How long have I been streaming? Oh, it's a little past 2 hours right there. Nice. Alright, everyone. Put more detail into those cards. I did. Don't you see the detail? I did it. I'm definitely going to be putting more detail into the cards, though. Because, you know, fun. It is fun. I don't know if, well, I'll say this. I like card games a lot, people. Anyone's listening. Definitely card battle games. Play a bit of Tekken myself sometimes. No one probably knows what that is. And if we live in a future where Tekken finally doesn't exist, it happened and it's gone. But I like card games a lot. I played Yu-Gi-Oh when I was younger. I've played in Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. I never did well. I was too young to understand how to do better, if you will. But I've been playing card games like most of my life. I enjoy them a ton, and I guess this is my way of like putting that back into like my own series, because it's, I don't know, it's something I like a lot. I like collecting them. I like the cool artwork. I like the different ways in which you can kind of do combinations, attacks, or stacking, and all this different type of stuff. I like it a lot. It's just very fun. It's like really fun to play with the archetypes of essentially like storytelling and also just creatures and characters and stuff like that in general. So this is my way of like giving my character that and giving myself that, you know. I get to kind of write about this card system for my character and have that be a part of their training regimen that you guys can also get into and check out. It's not even something that you guys get to necessarily play, but if I were to make a card game, that would be a part of their play style. Basically, what these cards do for the character and stuff like that. So, I don't know. It's pretty cool, in my opinion. So, thanks everyone for watching. As I'm saying this, I'm still thinking about what extra to put on the card. But thank you guys for coming through and checking out the stream. Very much appreciated. If you guys would like to check out the Divinity, which is the comic that I'm working on, please check it out on Webtoon or Tapas, whichever one you choose, whichever one you are most comfortable on. Same thing with the stream. If you guys would like to come through and check me out drawing on the stream, you can do that on YouTube or Twitch. I'm streaming simultaneously at the same time on both of those platforms. And if you like one over the other, choose which one you enjoy the most. Also, if you guys enjoy the content or the comic or anything like that enough to want to support me, hey, just coming through and sharing, like coming through and talking is cool. If you guys have anything extra you'd like to give, you can always donate to my Patreon or support me through supporting a tier. I have a $1 tier, which gets you my sketches that I usually post during the month. If you go up to the $5 tier, which is the next tier, it is the comic book tier, where you're supporting me working on the Divinity. And you guys will get essentially pages that come up before you see them for free anywhere else. You also get things like write-ups on illustrations as well. If you go up one more $, $6 tier, there is a behind the scenes tier. Basically, you get work in progress stuff. You get storyboards from previous chapters. You get rough drawings and sometimes inked pictures as far as the comic goes. So it's basically behind the scenes on working on the comic. And the fourth tier is essentially a one-on-one tier. It's mainly for people who are interested in getting like some. Wait a minute. Yep, that's my alarm. Getting some one-on-one with me as far as like helping to like improve someone else's work. So if you guys have a story that you're working on, maybe you want some tips or some tricks or some advice or some criticism on your comic book pages, that's what that's for. It's just $15. I'm only accepting 4 people a month, so I can really dedicate time to make sure that I'm helping someone make their work better. It's a service that is dedicated to anyone that is up and coming, and maybe you can't go to a convention right now, or you can't speak to anyone else about your work. It's just 15, and it'll be a very much like I'm gonna try and put a lot of time and effort into it. It'll be just me going over the pages. Maybe I'm going to be essentially writing down panels and what you could have done with this and that. Maybe trying this angle or that, or maybe a panel flow could be improved, or maybe it's great and I go, okay, here's another way I can assist you. I can ask you, hey, have you seen this movie? Or have you read a book by this person? Well, these things or these ideas you have coincide with other books that I know about and maybe have read myself. Same thing with movies, all these other things, maybe some movie scene that I know about that you might not have come across yet. And then I essentially recommend you all these different things that help you with your references so that you can go forth and have an even better amount of influences to pull from to take your storytelling further. But yeah, other than that, that's the stream, everyone. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Peace, everyone. Oh, he's doing the thing right there. Wait. He's doing it. Except the card is sideways. I see. Which is funny, because why would the card be sideways? That's funny. Yeah, didn't think that one through on the little small guy right here. But yeah. Yeah. Cool. Peace, everyone.